and today we're going to look at waxing a collage or any jelly print that you have finished that needs to have a protective surface. I use two different products to finish my work. One is Liquitex Spray Matte Varnish and the other is Gamblin Cold Wax Medium. Now this medium is normally mixed with oil paint to produce a very, very good medium for working in oils. Today we're just going to use it straight out of the tin to give a protective coat and finish to any collage or paperwork that you've done. I use it on the top of paper, when the substrate is paper, panels or canvas or wooden panel, cradle panel, or any type of stretch canvas. It really gives an excellent finish, protects the surface of the paper, and it can just be dusted and buffed off, and it means that you don't have to put glass in front of your collage, which I think is really nice because it seals it. Hi, now you can see here I've got a small finished 10 by 10, this is a Winsor & Newton canvas, stretch canvas. I like using the ones with a really deep edge because I think if you're not going to frame it, it looks really nice. I also continue my work around the return, which gives it, I think, a nice look when it's actually hung on the wall. You can also put a piece of tape over your raw edges if you're going to sell your work. So there's my canvas. This is my Gamblin Cold Wax Medium, and you can see it's just a soft wax surface. It doesn't hurt your hands, and it's really easy to use. Just take some out of the tin, put it onto the surface of your canvas. I use a spatula, but you can use anything, and I use a credit card to spread it out over the surface. You want it really thin, even and thin, and just work it in. If the layers are slightly bumpy or you've got any texture, just work it into that texture. You can rub it into with your fingers as well, and it gives you you can feel more how actually what depth you've got of cold wax. And keep pushing it through the canvas, and as I said, you can feel it with your fingers and work it in to any textured areas that you have until you've got an even coat completely over all of the surface. You can actually feel better with your fingers and feel where you need to push the wax to. It's very simple, very easy, and an excellent way of protecting your work. It also improves the colour. It gives it a lovely depth. A little bit more now on the sides. Again, probably easier to apply with your hands. One word of warning though, that once you've done this, you can't work on the panel again. Very, very difficult to do that unless you're going to use an oil base, crayon or something like that. So if you're going to sign your work, sign it before you put your wax on. It's quite a tactile medium to use. It's mainly, I believe, made of beeswax. It dries naturally matte. It takes several days. I mean, I leave things for at least a week after I've waxed them before I touch them again. It depends on, my studio is about 21 degrees and it's got very low humidity, but depends where you live as to how long it will take to go hard. And when it does dry, it has a lovely finish. It adds a lot of depth to the colour, and if you want, you can buff it with a clean cloth when it's completely dry, and that will give you a sort of satin type sheen to it. Not a lot of sheen, but you know, more sheen than it has in its just original state. This is a protective cover that will last for many, many years. If your purchasers want some information about how to care for the canvas, literally they can just dust it and give it a buff whenever they want to. I like it because, especially with collage, you get those edges of the paper and it just seems to join them all together. When I finished it, all I'll do then is just hang it on the wall to dry, and then in a week or two I'll give it a buff. Well, so simple, and I think you can do this to any, not just necessarily a collage, but you can do it to any acrylic work, and it helps protect your canvas. So boards, acrylic paintings on board or canvas can be finished like this, obviously, and so can oil paintings. There we go, job done.